Hello everyone, Sheyla here, and today we have a Seal of Righteousness Spell Power Ret tutorial. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we will get into it in a second. However, I did want to talk about this. I did get access to the PTR. I do want to upload something sometime this week. However, I'm having difficulty logging in. I'm encountering an error with the authentication process, so I'm working on it with the team, and they're going to try to get me in sometime this week. But that being said, let's get into it. So we're going to start out with Benediction, 5 out of 5, because we're using our seals constantly. Deflection, 2 out of 5. We just put extra points in that because the parry haste is great. Improved Crusader, Improved Judgment, Conviction, just your bread and butter ret, but we are not taking Seal of Command. We are going to take Pursuit of Justice just so we can close the gap. Vengeance, Eye for an Eye, Two-Hand Specialization, Vengeful Strikes, and finally Repentance. Now, we don't take Kings just because we don't have the points for it. We do take Divine Intellect because you're going to be pretty low in. Spiritual Focus and Holy Judgment for survivability. Those are really crucial whenever you're PvPing. Always take those. And then finally, Sanctity Aura. So we're going to go 8 out of 8, tier 2, and I had Jeklik's Opine Talisman, but I ended up switching it for the Dragon Slayer's Medallion, just because I had low stam, and I ended up getting about 300 stamina when I equipped that, so I did end up switching that for this video, and I'm going to keep it on permanently, just because 3.8 is way too glass cannon-y for this build. It is a glass cannon build, considering that we're dealing with about 4k stamina, and this patch that's very low, but your damage is going to be substantial enough to the point where you can end fights very well. So we are using Wrath of Cenarius, and we're also using the Brood of Nozdormu rep ring, the spell power ring, and again, Insignia of the Alliance and Talisman of Ephemeral Power. We're going to try to use that talisman whenever the Wrath of Cenarius procs, just to compound the spell power increase. So yeah, we're going to open up on this mage here. Freedom, always pre-freedom when you're fighting a mage. And again, we do it sounds counterintuitive because when you think of Seal of Righteousness, you think of like the wet noodle seal, but no, when you take Improved Righteousness and you stack your spell power, you get fantastic results. You're going to start seeing 200 to 300 damage seal ticks, which like is basically you double your weapon damage, and it's all holy damage, so it doesn't factor armor in. And when you judge the seal too, you're going to see really good returns as far as spell power scaling. So you're going to want to stack up as much spell power as you can. That's why we're using Jeklik's Opine Talisman, just because, you know, more spell power. However, that 300 stam, or that, what is it? I think it's 30. That's, I don't know, 300 health, 30 stam. That is going to make up for the 22 spell power, just because we're going to have a little bit more time to react. And typically we're going to want to wait until we're 50% health to use our Holy Judgment stack, our proc, just because, again, we're low stamina, and we're going to see about 1.7 to 2k from that Holy Light. I think a little bit less because we didn't take the improved talent for the Holy Light and Flash of Light. So we want to play it safe. We want to be defensive in our fights. We have the damage, but we don't have the HP. Just in this set, if you can get tier 2.5, you'll be fine. You just get your stam enchants, and you'll have about 5k, and you'll be hitting fantastically. I think it's got a little bit more spell power. It's got better stats. However, you don't get those bonuses. You don't get the 3 additional holy damage per swing. You do not get the 300 holy damage chance on critical hit, which really builds into the burstiness of this talent spec. Again, see, look at that. That's what, like, you saw 600 damage, holy damage. If that crit, you could have added another 300, and that's easily like 1,200 damage with Seal of Righteousness. That's basically a Seal of Command proc, but it's more consistent and more reliable, and you have the mana regeneration due to not only the double swing, the double tick from your Righteousness, but also the fact that I'm using the tier 2 set. I get that additional 3 holy damage on swing, so it's going to bump me up to 3 or 4 ticks depending on how much I'm hitting. So we won that match. Pretty simple. I actually joined when it was already ongoing. I'm going to take out these totems. No totems for you. I'm going to try to get a wisdom up on this shaman as soon as possible. I can't, so I'm going to heal myself. Again, we're playing defensively. And luckily I have backup, but I think there's somebody behind me too. I just got chain lightninged. So we're going to finish this shaman off first. Easy enough. And then we're going to go for this shaman second. We pop the talisman. Boom, big damage. Again, that's Seal of Righteousness. That's just Judgment of Righteousness you're seeing. 1.2 on a Judgment of Righteousness. I think the highest I've ever gotten it up was 2K. I do have a clip of it on my channel, to like a 30-second clip of me, you know, at the target dummy, just pushing it after they did the Seal of Righteousness changes, just to see how high I could get it. And I ended up maxing out at about 2K. Now, the only reason why I don't use that set is because it's low armor and it's low stamina, so it's more of a PvE thing. And it's a one-hand. I ended up using my End of Dreams, so I want to get the most out of that two-hand specialization talent, so I don't spec like that in PvP. So I'm going to open up on the Shaman. We start with the Repentance, you know, get our seal down, and then we stun him again just so he can't react. Now we've got our Holy Judgment proc up. We bubble. We're going to cast that 1.3 second Holy Light because we have our Crusader stacks building up. We have 2. And we're just going to try to disrupt this group over here. And we're going to lay into the Shaman again. And this is the intro clip. We're going to see the mage go AFK for whatever reason here. I don't know if he's got kids, or I don't know if the girlfriend aggro or whatever. But we need to deal with this hunter because they are at their keyboard. So we're just going to lay into him. And I should have put up a Seal of Wisdom on him, but you live, you learn. I feel so bad for this hunter. He's probably thinking, like, what the F? Like, man, you really gonna go AFK mid fight? Like, come on, guy. So he's getting a cup of tea, and I don't really want to beat him up because it doesn't look good to beat up somebody who's AFK on camera. But he comes back, so I should have just went to Leaf Hut. But you live, you learn, you know. And this is what I get for being nice. So we're gonna go up back out into mid, and I see this rogue going down, and he just got lightning struck, so he's done for. So I'm gonna try to go back to my teammates because again, I don't have the stamina to just take 4 or 5 people at once. In my holy set, I do. In my time on target Templar set, I do. In this set, I do not. The threshold you're going to want to go for is 4.5 to 5k health in this patch. Dampening is going to help with that next patch. You should see battles being slower. So it's not going to be like you're weaker. It is going to be less numbers, but it's going to be like... So a tier 3 is still going to be able to kill like a person in MC or Blackwing Lair gear. But that person in MC or Blackwing Lair gear is going to have more time to respond. Their teammates are going to have more time to help them. It's going to slow down the pace of fights. You're still going to take heavy spell damage, but your healers are going to have more time to react to it. And if you're playing smart, if you have a Warlock and they're putting out tongues on the enemy group, it will slow down the amount of spell damage going out. But unfortunately, Alliance is pretty melee heavy, just due to all the Paladins and the Warriors we have. And we don't really end up seeing a lot of Warlocks. But Tongues is really good. Any sort of class that can shut down casting, like Warlocks or Shadow Priests, or even Rogues, they're going to be your friend against caster-heavy groups. They're just going to want to disrupt people who are free casting. The free casting is what gets you. It's just focusing on people hitting you in melee, and then not dealing with the people who are doing like just massive amounts of damage on the sidelines, because those are the real threat. Warriors are scary, don't get me wrong, but a free casting caster is just gonna end your game. So I ended up going back to our base because this wasn't working. Just trying to control mid. They had the upper hand. I don't know if they had better gear, better players, who knows, but this was not our game. But I did end up having a decent game myself. I think I ended the game at 8-5 or 8-6. But we get word that there's a hunter on the roof, so we're going to go up and deal with this hunter, just so he doesn't end up assisting the enemy flag carrier whenever they get into our base. But yeah, this is very simple. It's not hard. It does take a little bit of gear, but once you get into Blackwing Lair, once you finish your tier 2, you can do this very well. I'm considering whether or not I want to start running AQ40 again, just to get another tier 2.5 ret set, because that's my favorite set for Retribution. It's the perfect the perfect set in my opinion. Just has the perfect amount of stamina, the perfect amount of health, stats, MP5. It's just really good. Don't get me wrong, the tier 2 set is fantastic just because of the 8 set bonus, the 300 damage on 300 holy damage on critical hits, and also the fact that you get your 3 holy damage on melee swing, giving you the additional wisdom tick. But it just doesn't have the stam. I end up mixing stamina and spell power enchants for this set. And with a priest, it's better just because I have fortitude. And with somebody who has kings, like a paladin with kings, it's also better. But yeah, I'm gonna go over here and try to help out my teammates. I think they end up capping in a second and the game ends. But thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy using this build. It's very simple. It's good for new players. I will try to get into the PTR sometime this week and get some videos on Holy Shock interacting with Blast Strikes. I'll try to get a video on the Consecration Rune. I'll try to get some videos out this week if I can get in. Alright, guys. Take care. Have a good day. Peace.